Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Joy Gosses. We begin this evening's bulletin with a developing story. Civil servants have voted in favor of a strike during the two-day voting exercise held recently. Meanwhile, Landless People's Movement leader Barnata Swartboy has pledged the party's support for the civil servants who just concluded elections on whether or not to have a nationwide strike.
The actions that you are undertaking as civil servants are actions that are within your right. We are with you, whatever your decisions. And we know that you have had the patience and the fortitude to stay in the negotiations for the past 7 years, and nobody took you seriously. When you are taking yourself seriously, others are complaining. Don't allow others to determine how your household finances look after 7 years. Fuel has gone up, food has gone up, inflation is eating up, expenses have gone up, schools, hostels have gone up, standard of life of civil servants has gone down, income levels have not gone up. It's unacceptable. This government should at least have given civil servants a 7% inflation adjusted income rise, at least in this year's budget. They didn't do it.
On to politics. SWAPO Party President Dr. Hage Geingob criticized scholars and cadres, suggesting that the current SWAPO must be brought back to its original status, telling them to mind their own business, as SWAPO remains a vibrant party of unity. Lenia Dishena filed our report.
Again, if you are committed to SWAPO ideals of solidarity, freedom, and justice, if you believe, how many of us believe in that? Solidarity, justice. Then as SWAPO members, there is no way we can die. People are praying and the prayers here, scholars here and others, they see daily SWAPO is dead. They are advising us, by the way, listen here, if you hate SWAPO, SWAPO must die. Why do you advise us? SWAPO must be careful. These scholars, I don't know who they are, but scholars. I know they don't like us. But why try to advise us? SWAPO must be careful, they are losing. Mind your business. We'll organize our own party and take our own unity. We have been advised daily. Be careful. SWAPO is in trouble. We know that. We are not in trouble for the first time. I mentioned the instances where we come from. We went through very difficult times. But when I look at you, you are here. Proud in SWAPO. They would like you to say, I'm not anymore SWAPO. Let them, those who are tired, go. Yeah, it will be a good riddance. But the committed characters that I see here, that I saw with the youth league meeting I closed here or somewhere, I don't know where. The nuns who were affiliated. I saw vibrant SWAPO. I was saying, where are these SWAPO is dead? They are wishing that we are dead. Don't allow them to celebrate by destroying SWAPO.
United Democratic Front candidate for the upcoming Swakopmund constituency elections, Serolda Dandu, says she will prioritize a homeless shelter that would also house street kids at the town, amongst others. Isabel Bendo, our Erongo region correspondent, compiled the story.
Lack of quality and dignified housing will be a thing of the past. My office will work closely with the private sector and the municipality to ensure that the residents of Swakopmund get quality and dignified housing. It is a disgrace that the only piece of land, and I quote, it is a disgrace that the only piece of land is going to be our grave. No, we must have our own houses while we are still living. We need to have our own that we call, this is my house, not a shack. That's why I'm always pleading to you, go vote for UDF, go vote for me, for dignified housing and sanitary environment for all. My aim is to ensure that we all see change and development while we are still alive. All these are dreams, and they will remain so unless you go vote in numbers and vote for me. We can do it. Sorry. Let us take our future in our hands and choose me as your leader. Your problems are my problems. Your worries are my worries. I'm here to give you service delivery like never before.
The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, in collaboration with its stakeholders, will this week host a national conference on education to deliberate on the education system as well as a number of transformative programs. Shalva Wells filed this insert.
The conference, set for the 2nd to the 5th of August, will take place under the theme Transforming Education Towards Inclusion and Quality in the Context of Global Challenges, Re-Image in 2023 and Beyond. In a media statement here Sunday, the Ministry's Executive Director, Sanit Steenkamp, said the meeting will also take stock of progress made in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals while reviewing the recommendations of the 2011 National Conference on Education and provide an opportunity for Namibia to recommit and rededicate efforts. Steenkamp said the theme of the conference has been changed to reflect the impact of climate change, the economic downturn following 2014, and the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, all of which have an impact on education in Namibia. She added that these are some of the global challenges countries must address by strategizing their planning systems for the next 10 years. The executive director stated that the conference will produce actionable recommendations for the 5 transformative thematic areas of inclusive, equitable, safe and healthy schools, teachers, teaching and the teaching profession, learning and skills for life, work and sustainable development, digital learning and transformation, as well as educational financing.
In tonight's primetime business segment, the OPEC Plus group of oil exporters are set to hammer out a new strategy at their meeting this Wednesday, with all eyes set on how they will react to soaring crude prices. Michael Matimba reports.
The 13 core members of OPEC led by Saudi Arabia and the 10 further states in OPEC Plus, chief among them Russia, find themselves at a crossroads. After the drastic output cuts they agreed to in spring 2020 in reaction to the plunge in demand caused by the coronavirus pandemic, the member states of the alliance are once again producing at pre-virus levels, at least on paper. In normal times, they would perhaps have stopped at that, but faced with runaway prices and pressure from Washington, this scenario is viewed as unlikely. US President Joe Biden traveled to Saudi Arabia in mid-July, despite his promise to make the country a pariah, in the wake of the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Part of the reason for the controversial trip was to convince Riyadh to continue loosening the production taps in order to stabilize the market and curb rampant inflation. Wednesday's meeting will reveal whether his efforts were successful. However, analysts warn against expecting any drastic increases.
Meanwhile, German airline Lufthansa and oil and gas giant Shell earlier today had agreed to jointly explore the supply of sustainable aviation fuel at airports across the globe. Lydia Bitiri reports.
Parties intend to agree on a contract for a total supply volume of up to 1.8 million metric tons of sustainable aviation fuel starting from 2024 over a term of 7 years. The agreement, expected to be the largest sustainable aviation fuel commitment of both companies to date, builds on Shell's ambition to have at least 10% of its global aviation fuel sales as sustainable aviation fuel by 2030. This sustainable aviation fuel is produced without the use of fossil energy sources such as crude oil or natural gas. It's expected to lead the way for decarbonization of aviation. The current generation of sustainable aviation fuel, which saves 80% CO2 compared to conventional kerosene, is mainly produced from biogenetic residue, for example from used cooking oils.
That's all we had for you in the top segment. Kindly stay tuned for the sports news, but first the economics roundup and the weather forecast.
A warm welcome to the Monday edition of Sport Planet. I'm Michael Madimba. Football headlines the slot tonight. Brave Warriors coach Colin Benjamin says the postponement of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers can be a blessing in disguise for Namibia. The Confederation of African Football CAF Executive Committee on Sunday approved a revised Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 2023 qualification calendar following their meeting on Friday in Tanzania. Speaking to Nampa following the confirmation by the CAF Executive Committee, Benjamin said this can allow Namibia to fix the stadium issue, as time is now on our side. We now have 8 months until our next competitive international fixtures. This is ample time for us to sit as stakeholders and fix our stadiums. We have 3 more qualifiers. One of those games is a home match, Benjamin said. On to some local basketball action. The Commerce Basketball Association says the recently concluded KBA Cup, while a huge success, is evidenced by the huge turnout by the fans. Speaking to Nampa on Sunday, KBA President Helena Ogwanga says everything went according to plan and the quality of the games was of a higher standard. The first final of the day saw the men's team, Titans Basketball Club, continue their fine form as they overcame the University of Namibia Rebels by 54 to 45 points to be crowned the 2022 KBA Cup champions. The most valuable players, John Chirimuye from Titans, as well as Deborah Elanga from Sparks, each walked away with fuel vouchers from Shell Vivo Namibia. Stand by for your sports roundup. That's where we leave it for tonight. Many thanks for watching. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share and press the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. Let's make another date tomorrow here on Primetime News. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire production crew, it's good night.